Hey and hello my scrappy friends, a big welcome to my YouTube channel today. Melinda Sweetman here with you with my first share for Cut to You for 2023. As you can see, I'm working with this, it's actually a title cut file. It's called the Happy Day title cut file. As you can see, I have cut it super big. I have done some rainbow blending of colour onto this one. I will link up in the top right the original video that I shared where I did do the ink blending on this. I've obviously not shown it on this particular process video. What I am showing you is how I'm distressing the edges of my letters. I am using a pointy pair of scissors and I found that having them on an angle gave me the amount of distressing that I was after. I'm applying glue to my background and then sticking that down so that I can go back in and lift up the edges and distress them a little bit more like I am here. The original cut file, I used the outline and I filled it with pattern paper, I think, from I actually cannot remember what I did. But if you check out the original, you'll see that. The colours that I've used Distress Oxides with blender brushes. And my colours are Kitsch Flamingo, Fired Brick, Spiced Marmalade, Squeezed Lemonade, Pine Needles, Broken China, Chip Sapphire and Seedless Preserves. I'm working with this little photo of my two children today. It is one of those rare moments where they were getting along. They were in the spa and they were playing nicely together, not trying to kill each other in any way, shape or form, which was lovely. And I happened to snap a photo just at the right time while they were like holding each other. It was really cute. So that is the story that I'm telling with this layout today. You did just watch me put some tissue paper on there. No, I leave that one on. Sorry, I've done a few layouts over the last few days and I'm getting all confused. Once I had got to this point and pulled out my embellishments I'm using with the kit that I created, I think it was in September last year with all the rainbow things, I did decide pretty quickly that I was going to go colour on colour. So you can see the first thing I pulled out happened to be that flare badge. Remember this moment, which is going to work as my title. And then I had the two punch butterflies, one in lime green, one in orange. And I was like, right, I'm going to work colour on colour here. So I'm playing with the chipboard that I have in my kit from Bella Boulevard. And you can see I'm just matching up the colours here, putting them where I want them. I've got the yellow heart and then the pink heart. They are from, it's another Bella Boulevard collection. It's one of the Illustrated Faith ones that had come off the sticker sheet. Then I've got the yellow chipboard there that says memories. I did try the red chipboard up here, but I was like, nope. And I do find a pink one instead. So you can see I'm kind of working in a triangle around the photo. So top right, middle left, bottom right, and then my photo kind of sits right in the middle of all that. I'm going to use this piece of chipboard. It is white with black text. It does have a red heart on it that I do cover up. I use some epoxy hearts. But I'm just peeling off the chipboard, some of the layers of chipboard. I wanted my flare badge to lay over the top of that. So I just wanted it to be a bit more even. I am trying to get in a few more chipboard pieces, but I don't think I get any more in. That's okay though. I'm slowly getting through this kit, but I am finding that every time I dive into this kit, I'm having lots of fun with it. So if it lasts me another 6 months, that's okay. If I go through it in a month, then that's okay too. I'm adding some of these Heidi Swap photo corners, again using the same colours, so the yellow and the teal. Then I wanted to add something behind my photo, and I found this 6x6 paper from Stampin' Up. It is dark blue, but it has got all the rainbow colours on it. So I thought, yep, this is going to be perfect. I'm trimming a large-ish border on it. I'm like, I really didn't cut that straight. So I'm just straightening those edges, which doesn't really make a great deal of sense because I'm going to distress them as well. But I add a layer of thin cardboard between the photo and the paper, and then another one underneath all of that. So this layer is quite dimensional, especially with that flare badge layered over the top. I am still a bit congested. I don't know if you can hear that from COVID. Every time I get sick, it goes to my sinuses in some way, shape or form. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good, though we have had a pretty busy couple of weeks since Christmas with family that we haven't seen for a few years, which has been great, but I'm definitely ready to stop for a little while. I am using my Scotch Tacky Glue to stick things down because of that dimension. I knew that if I stuck it down with just the adhesive on the back of the chipboard particularly, it would not stay stuck. So I'm just going through sticking everything down. Looking for a label from the Pretty Little Studio pack here to add my journaling, and I couldn't believe it. I found these ones in that same teal colour, and I found an offcut of the lime green, which is going to fit in beautifully here. Did try to use up that little tiny scrap, but I'm like, just give it up, Melinda, just move on. So I'm going to put my journaling in here. I am going to mark it with a pencil so that I know exactly where to start and stop writing after I trim it down. I'm like, yep, that's working for me. Distress the edges of that. So yeah, once I had my cut file done, this came together pretty quickly. I have had to layer up foam tape on pretty much everything except for that cut file. It's all, I'm using the two different heights of the SpiegelMom Scraps foam tape. This one is the thicker one. In some areas I've had to use one piece of the thicker one and one piece of the thinner one. So if you've got this tape, you have some idea of how thick that is. Sorry for my head in the way. Make sure that's stuck down. Sticking things over the top of this cut file did have a few, I was really particular where I stuck some things. I didn't want any weird bits of black poking through or weird bits of white from the cut file, so I was a little bit fussy with where I was sticking things down. I wanted to add the date, and I didn't have any orange labels, so I created my own. It's an LA Studio stamp set. I did think about die cutting it and just went, I'll just use my scissors. And I'm going to use my roller date stamp to stamp the date, then distress the edges of this one as well. So how is 2023 finding you? I hope you're enjoying all of the shares that I'm doing. My niece asked me the other day if I'd shared anything recently, and at that point I don't think I had, or I had only shared one. I'm like, but I've got another one going live today, and I've got one going live in a couple of days. So, yeah, so I hope you're enjoying all of my shares. It has been really nice to get back into my craft room. I've spent half of today tidying it up. I'm still slowly plodding away through my December daily. I do have all of my photos printed and in the album, which is very exciting. I am working kind of between my desk in my craft room and the kitchen, like the dining room table at the moment. So that's been a little bit interesting. Just adding my final touches here. I'm going to add this little rainbow because it just fit right there perfectly. It's like it was meant to be. And then I'm going to add some of these felt clouds. These are the most adorable things. I've had them in my stash, gosh, for years, like years. I've tried them on a few different layouts, so I'm so excited that I got some on this page. I was like, all right, I don't want to add too many because I don't want to cover up this cut file, but I want to add enough that it looks like enough. So I started with these three, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to do another one up here. That gives me two. All right, do I want to add more? Yes, I want to add more, so I go with three here. So I've got three on the left hand side, and then I'm like, right, I've got to add a third one over to here. I try down there, I'm like, nope. And then pop it up the top there. And then I'm like, right, I've got two clusters of three. I'm sure I need to add a third cluster of three. So away I go down the bottom here. Again, I'm just being particular about where I'm sticking it because I didn't want any weird gaps. 1, 2, and one more down the bottom here. And then my final touch is all of these, except for one, were exactly the right colours to go onto this page. I was so impressed. So I'm adding one of each colour. I am colouring up the last one to match that dark blue. I think I used a combination of B39 and something else, but I can't remember what it was. I'm so sorry, I forgot to write it down. And then here come the little epoxy hearts. I've got a green, an orange, and a teal one. So I was like, that works perfectly. So I'm popping those on where they go, covering up that red heart, and calling this page done. So here are your close-ups. Have you ever used a big, this is a very, especially the way that I've coloured it, it's very much of a feature, but it is my background, something fun and different for my actual background that is mixed media but not super messy. I do recommend you give this a go. If you want to see, like I said, how it's done, make sure you pop over to the other video that I've linked above. I'll link it in the description box below. As always, thank you ever so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate every single one of those and all of my likes and comments. I know I'm not great at replying, but I do read all of them. So thank you ever so much, and I hope you have a fantastic scrappy day.